right, hello. We have a very, very interesting game today. MightyCaesar versus Cameron. Now, I'm not too familiar with Cameron as a player, but I know MightyCaesar is a very, very strong player. I've seen a lot of their competition before, so I'm really interested to see how they perform. Also, just so the audience is aware, unfortunately, Viapron, who signed up to commentate this, is not available. I'm Pierre Roulette. I signed on to track, but I'll be happy to take over until he appears. I'm just excited, really, to bring you this race. I know we are a few minutes behind schedule. There was a Mega Man race that was running a little long before this, so that kind of made it a bit tricky to get things set up in time. I hope you guys can understand. But we should be underway pretty soon here. As for predictions, I don't know. I kind of want to see a beam on Tower of Light again. It just never stops being funny. It's fantastic every time that happens. All right, we are switched over to the race layout. We should be starting very, very soon. All right, timer's getting down.
Hello guys, I know I'm the late one, but I will be the other commentary.
Oh, howdy, Link. Let me just adjust your volume real quick.
Alrighty, alrighty. So, like you said before, I do agree. We've seen Caesar a lot, me and you personally. We haven't really seen Cameron much in playstyle. And that looks like bombs in landing site.
And a grapple beam from Alcove.
Yeah.
So performing space jump first is going to get them that grapple beam, which is potentially useful, especially if main plaza grapple ledge comes into play. Bombs in landing site, though, is a very interesting
as well.
Oh.
I'm good about Root Cave.
Well, we can't do Root Cave because we don't have missiles.
Right, but the grapple beam will make it significantly easier to get up there.
You are right about that. To get the item at the top, though, we would probably want Space Jump, and with Space Jump, we could skip Grapple Beam anyways.
True, and with Morph and missiles, they can also get a Crash Side item in the water.
Yes, yes. Cameron's struggling with the slope jump to get out of Alcove. This one isn't too tricky, and he manages to get it after a moment. Missile on grapple ledge, so it's probably not what it's pointing to. Missile in half pipe as well.
Yeah.
Did you see what was on vault ledge?
Vault ledge.
Oh, that looks like a ball.
I'm pretty sure that is Morph right there.
Yeah, Boost Ball is a bit darker in color, I believe.
Boost Ball is actually a smaller model than.
Oh, is that what the difference is?
Yes. MightyCaesar is pulling off some intermediate movement.
This might be our launcher. No.
No,
that tells us that a space jump is probably not in our future.
What Caesar did is technically considered intermediate movement with that.
Yeah, you're expected to have space jump for that, so you know that's not considered in logic unless we get the space jump.
It's like another missile expansion in Ruin Shrine. Nice, Caesar hitting that trigger for the beetle fight.
The beetle fight is, you know, we can just skip over it. Exactly. We're going to be doing some standable. This is a bit tricky. I know when I was watching Bash practice for the race, he struggled with this one a lot.
Yes, those routes are really tedious to find the right footing.
Yes, yeah.
And one key thing to note about escaping after triggering the beetle fight is we're stuck with this music until either a elevator transition or they get to the room that leads to Furnace.
Yeah, we are stuck with the mini-boss music. until we go to Energy Core, because that has its own music.
Yes.
Energy Core has like the special puzzle track that comes on, so that actually is a music trigger that overrides it.
Yeah, and then the music will return to normal after you've completed that. Or even go to Zoid, I think.
Huh, so what changed our music there? I felt like we were still playing the same track.
I'm unsure. Expansion right before Hive Mech. Hive Mech having our space jump.
That doesn't actually surprise me that much. That makes sense. Cameron choosing to fight Hive Toto. That's understandable. If you struggle
Possibly
with
that.
that dash, it can be faster just to fight.
Right, right. Either Cameron is not sure of the placement or he isn't too confident in performing the dash. Which, as someone who tends to struggle with the dash themselves, I understand. And that is an artifact behind Hive Mech. Okay. Hive Mech, Hive Totem. I know I'm getting the names wrong. Bear with me, guys.
Anyway, that space jump is now going to help us a little bit. It's going to get us up the vault ledge.
Yes. Get us that Morph Ball and
By
Caesar was
extension,
being
the
bullied
bomb.
by a War Wasp.
Going to be taking a safety save here. I understand this. This is a good idea.
Well, even if it's not a safety save, just a energy refill. And
Oh,
did Caesar have a crash or did he exit that? Oh, he probably resetted.
I'm not really sure what that was about.
I'm not sure either. Cameron is going to have to come back for that artifact of Life Giver, since they have yet to grab the missiles.
Alright, I went ahead and just Cameron's volume because I was coming through a bit quiet.
Yes. Cameron also opting for a safety save, if not a warp back.
Well, I don't see why we would warp back because we need that Northfall to do anything, really. That's pretty mandatory.
Yes, and Prime Morph is very mandatory.
Speaking of mandatory, for those unaware, the items that we need to complete a seed, which is what we're going to be looking for, are 3 beams, the Phazon suit, and all 6 artifacts. Those are the baseline mandatory items, but we'll also almost certainly need a few others, like bombs.
Yes.
The Spider Ball has a habit of being required, and Varied Suit almost certainly.
Yes. Unless we get plenty of E-tanks and they just want to brute force their way through Magmore.
VMR, I don't think it's going to be in the cards for us. You need a lot of energy to do that comfortably. And we just have not found any, really.
Right, right. Also, if we have bosses required like Thardas or OP, we do technically need either thermal or X-ray.
Yes, in Thardus' case, you can defeat the boss without any visors. You can just shoot the rocks if you know which ones are available to damage. It is a set order every time.
Yes, or
but OP is a hard requirement. You cannot damage a Mega Pirate without the X-ray visor. There is no way to get his item unless you have that.
Yes. As for the Thardas fight, you can either memorize the pattern of his rocks, or you can easily just drop a Morph Ball bomb as he rolls at you.
Speaking of, MightyCaesar picks up his right now.
Yep. And going to Crash Site.
I agree with this.
I do too. There's been plenty of seeds this tournament that has had something important on Crash Site.
I'm calling it now Ice Spreader on Crash Site.
Oh, bit too far with that dash.
Oh, it's
That
a
is
gravity
a
suit.
suit.
Again? We just had that last seed. Come on, Metroid Prime for the Nintendo GameCube. Again?
That's not Prime, it's Randovania. Alright,
That's
who
true.
gen this? Who gen this?
I was about to guess that, but I wanted to make it different. But then no, the seed says, yeah, we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did last time. We're predictable, and you're gonna hate us for it. MightyCaesar takes a bit of a fall there.
Now. And looks like Prime ate his input.
That does happen. That does happen.
Yes, it does. Especially if you're using software, not official hardware.
Yes, I have had a lot of trouble. I've even just had trouble using bad controllers and having that happen.
Yes.
Even on original hardware.
Input lag.
Especially if you've got one of those wavebirds. The wireless can sometimes get you there.
Yeah.
It just introduces a little bit of unreliability, you know. And Artifact Temple does take a minute to load. It's one of the longest loads in the game.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Is that an E-tank on Artifact Temple?
Hey,
that wouldn't surprise me.
That's an E.
Oh, no, it's thermal.
Oh, no.
I saw like some purple bluish particles coming off of it or something from that window.
I thought I did too. I thought I did too.
But that's going to be very, very useful. Unfortunately, though, that means that as soon as we find Ice Beam, that's going to put Frigate into logic.
Yes.
Oh, and Wave Beam, of course, to do the conduits. Lava Lick. Okay,
Lava
good.
Okay.
Easy. We don't have very... What we will soon. Ice Ruins East. That's Plasma locked, but that's still pretty good. Triclops Pit.
Okay.
Actually, wait, no. Ice Ruins East might be the spider track. Tower of Light.
Tower of Light. Tower of Artifact. Or Tower of Wild, actually. And main core and Phazon.
These are very nice
You
artifacts.
have required mines. Let's see. Nice.
Yeah, but main core is only, like, technically mines. It's, like, literally the first room.
True, true. Just a quick visit to mines, then. They might be hoping to find Ice and Wave quick. Then, so they don't want to go through the Magmore elevator. Backtrack all the way through.
So that means that our artifacts are not really going to be injecting a lot of the far game into our seed right now. So if we're going to places like Farfan, Farchozo, or Mines, or whatnot, we're going to be doing it for one of our necessary items. The Phazon suit or one of our beams. And we also might need Spider Ball, depending.
Right, and the only beam that can be in mines, technically up to a certain point, would technically be Plasma.
Yes, we are expected to have Wave and Ice to get into mines.
Yep, no matter what entrance you use. And of course,
we're going to be
knowing his invisible platforms can easily get through this.
I mentioned earlier that visors, pretty much the only hard visor requirement is...
And there's our Phazon suit in Root Cave.
There it is. That's what we're looking for. That's the one item that can be the wild card and show up anywhere. So getting that out of the way now, very nice.
Oh yeah.
I was mentioning earlier that OP is the one hard visor requirement, but as we saw from MightyCaesar, you know, pretty much anything else that requires a visor, quote-unquote requires, can be done without it. So this includes power conduits, standing on invisible platforms, you know, fighting otherwise invisible enemies, etc.
And there's our validation.
Flamethrower and TTB, very nice.
Yep, MightyCaesar's race is now validated. It's like Cameron opting to try and grab that phase-on suit. And do we know if they have vanilla defense or progressive defense?
I didn't see any RAs on, so it's whatever the auto settings usually does.
Progressive, I think, then.
So that means that they get additional defense depending on how many suits they have, not
Right.
which suits they have.
Right.
So right now they'll have, I believe, a 20% resistance, and if they find the Very suit, that'll bump it up to 50%, which is huge.
Which they're gonna need that Various suit anyways.
Yeah,
Technically,
Very suit is
this
almost always required in
right.
order to
No
go
other
through
suit
Manifold.
protects from heat.
Yeah, this isn't Super Metroid. You can't get through with a gravity suit. Cameron
I'm
takes a
having
bit of a
trouble
fall.
with the invisible platforms.
That's definitely understandable. Oh, there's a Very
There's
suit.
Arborea and Ruin Shrine.
So that's going to make us feel really, really safe this whole game.
See, there's the thing
It's a
about these.
50% damage reduction. That's effectively the same as doubling your health.
Yes, and another thing about these seeds, when all three suits are back to back like that, it's probably hinting at the beams are going to be spread around quite a lot. Unless, of course, it ends up just being a complete jet seed.
Now, sometimes we can't have that. Sometimes, it already runs through and places everything before we've even gotten to, like, the gravity suit. And that just gets plopped down randomly. Like, okay, we're just going to put it here randomly. We don't have a particular reason to put it in Frigate Crash site. It's just going here because we don't have anywhere else to put it. That can
Right.
absolutely happen. That can absolutely happen. It might be what we have. It might not. And we're going to do the gallery tunnel now that we have bombs.
And it's just a missile expansion, which is good early on. We do need the ammo.
Choosing to go through a Hive Totem path to get all the way to presumably Vault. I definitely understand this play.
I understand it too.
Cameron about to get his own Fairy suit very quickly here.
Yeah, but Cameron's gonna have to go back to Root Cave after he gets X-ray to grab his Phazon suit.
That is true, that is true.
Something I don't really like to see happen. Both as a commentator and as a player.
MightyCaesar are almost certainly next going to be doing that middle Chozo stuff, going to Watery Hall, Lower Furnace, those kinds of locations.
Yeah.
Possibly Burn Dome if we want to fight Zoid.
I mean, Zoid has two items. One that is
Yeah, it is a room with
Zoid,
two
and
items, and we
Zoid.
can logically get in and out, so, there's no problems there.
Right. The only issue is that it's kind of an auto-scroller.
Yes, it does take quite a while. Zoid is actually random in how long it takes. There's not really a lot the runners can do about that. Now, we do have some alterations in Randomania that make it a little bit better, and it also guarantees consistency between our runners. So now how long it takes is not just completely RNG, but it's based on specifically the seed that we use to generate.
Yeah,
that makes it a little bit more competitive.
Yes.
Gathering Hall doesn't have anything
You could
for us.
easily lose minutes to Zoid RNG. And your opponent could get a quick Zoid.
Now we do have Gravity Suit, so that's going to make the lower Watery Hall check very, very easy.
Oh yeah. like an E-tank in charge beam location. That's super slow dynamo.
That's a good find. That's a good find.
That was a good find. It does put in a few extra checks and logic now.
Yeah, we can do the tree in main plaza.
Although it's a missile expansion, not an E-tank.
Did MightyCaesar actually check what the tree was? Because you can do a little bit of a...
I don't think he did. And that was a Metroid.
Yeah, that's a nothing item. We actually removed 7 items from the game for the seed. 6 of them are artifacts, because we reduced the amount of artifacts that you need from 12 down to 6. And the other one is going to be our charge beam, which we start with for convenience sake. So the items that get taken out of the seed are replaced with that nothing item, which does absolutely nothing when you pick it up.
It actually just adds 1% to your item collection value. Nothing else.
Yep. But it has no real gameplay effect.
Right.
Heading into Energy Core, can I just go over and take this away to visit?
Yes. Which I do understand the play.
Yeah, it's a good play. It's a good play. I would do it myself.
Yes, it is a good play early on. Now, if you end up getting a lot of stuff early on, and you could possibly put the Zord off for the whole seed, depending on what you would get.
Now let's see what the item in the back of Zoid is. You usually want to get that first hit in, because if you go there right away, oftentimes you'll end up having Zoid, pop up while you're in the back there, which is no good. Yeah. Cameron isn't going to be far behind at this point. Oh, that's an E-tank on Zoid. That is, our second missed seed, so it's definitely appreciated.
Oh, yeah. Granted, the only 2 bosses that could be required now, since we already have base on suit, would be Flagra or Thardus.
Well, that's not true. We could need the Spider Ball to get the Ice Ruins East artifact, and that... Actually, could that show up on OP? I think you do... I'm not sure, because you can definitely get to him without it. But I think that last room before him does logically require it.
I do believe that's possibly intermediate, if not advanced movement, though.
Yeah. Yeah. MightyCaesar doesn't quite get the instant from the BSJ. It's kind of a stylish move, but it is a bit tricky.
Yeah.
You essentially are trying to sort of clip yourself slightly against the door frame. You're not really clipping into it per se, but...
Upper Furnace looked like a missile expansion. Love to see it.
Yeah, Upper Furnace is nothing today.
You love to see it as a player, it being nothing. Because either way, if you do the intended method or the unintended method, it's a long check, it's a tedious check. No one wants to do it.
Yeah. Now, besides the tree, really our main choices right now are just to go to Magmorph. That's really all we're going to do. Lava Lake is required, so we're going to go there eventually anyways.
Yes. We got the tree. We do have Flagra still. Flagra is in logic.
That's true, but I don't think we're going to be paying her a visit.
No. Barbara could very well be bait. Who knows?
Yeah. Caesar taking a save warp here. Oh, no, just taking an ordinary save.
Probably going to save scum Flargra.
That is a good idea. No, we just wanted to save for safety, to refill our 2 energy tanks that were empty when we took the save.
Let's see, we have Morph, Bombs, Space Jump, Supers, all 3 suits, Grapple Beam, and Thermal.
Nothing in the tree.
It could be pointing towards Magmor and Phendrana areas. Warrior Shrine, it would technically be in Logic.
Yes. You wouldn't want to go there without power bombs, though.
No.
Because that means you would have to skip the upper fiery shores check.
Yes. However, there have been plenty of times that Warrior Shrine was power bombs.
That is true. I believe we saw it in last race, actually. Well, not last race. Yeah, I think it was the one before that, actually.
I think it was last race, or no, I didn't see all of last race, so I don't know. Possibly the race before that, and I think it was in my race as well against ECR.
That sounds about right to me.
Granted, it was an expansion, not main Pvs, but expansions work.
Caesar considers taking a save. Goes ahead and takes off the missile lock while he's here, but not right now. We're not taking the save.
There's no need really. He's technically full on HP.
Yeah.
And that is a French vanilla artifact.
Yeah, so that's not the artifact that you would normally get, but they're effectively interchangeable. Triclops Pit, I believe, was also an artifact, so this is going to be an artifact as well.
No, I believe Triclops Pit was originally a E-tank, actually.
No, I'm talking about in this seed.
Right. I'm saying vanilla. I thought you were talking about vanilla.
I'm not talking about vanilla. I'm talking about, I'm saying that this isn't going to be something else. The storage cavern, though, is definitely open.
Caesar's technically halfway done with the seed.
We still don't have any beams, and we do need those. We really do.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be pretty necessary.
For the extra fight, yes. For the Ridley fight,
plasma.
For the Ridley fight, you can technically do it with just power beam. It's just annoying to do.
Remind me, what are our remaining artifacts? There's Ice Ruins East. What were the other 2?
The Ice Ruins East was one.
Main Quarry.
Main Quarry was the other one. No, there's one more.
I don't remember. But that Ice Ruins East artifact, that might have just opened up to us with that plasma beam if it's behind the ice wall. There are 2 items in Ice Ruins East, which means that we don't quite know what Mighty Caesar is going to need. One of them is locked behind plasma, and the other requires
Tower of Light was the one.
Tower of Light. Okay.
So we do need Wave Beam for the Tower of Light item.
We need all 3 beams just to get our artifacts. So yeah, there's. Normally we like to talk about how Exo Skip can let you skip Ice Beam and possibly even Wave Beam, but that's not going to come out today. We're going to need them anyways.
Yeah, it's just because of the artifact placement.
MightyCaesar getting a little bit bullied by the turrets in Monitor Station.
Oh yeah, the turrets can easily knock you around. It's happened to me plenty of times.
They're going up to check Warrior Shrine. Meanwhile, Cameron has obtained the Super Missile.
Or Shrine's just a missile expansion.
That does mean we're going to be isolating Upper Shores for now.
Yeah.
And
More
Transport Tunnel A
tunnel.
might have something for us.
Yes, it might.
That's just a missile.
Caesar opting to pick it up since he was already up there. I don't blame him.
It doesn't really cost any time.
No.
Like, because you often don't react to that being not something you want until you've already laid the first bomb, at which point you might as well just go through with it.
Now I've seen some players opt to not collect it if it was an expansion based off their ammo counts. But typically we'll see players pick it up.
I actually can't really tell how much ammo Caesar has because his HUD color is hard on the eyes. I'll say that.
Yeah, 50 max so far, I think.
Caesar, if you watch this back, please change your HUD color to something I can look at.
Both players have 50 max missiles so far.
Alright.
Yeah, you can barely see Caesar's.
Okay,
And
so
Fireball
our
is
artifacts
required.
on the spider track. Chat correctly points out that Cameron is making a play for Flagra. This is interesting. Flagra could have quite a few of our items.
Oh, MightyCaesar opting to do the bomb jump method to grab that item.
This one is really tricky, so you don't see this very often in races. Like, people will usually just resign themselves to the fact that they need Spider Ball, but it is technically possible to get it with just Morph Ball bombs.
And Caesar, after failing a couple times, like, you know what, screw it, let me collect Spider first.
I'd say that's the right call. I'd say that's the right call.
Yes.
That one is extremely difficult. It's very, very often that you'll see runners struggle for minutes.
If Flagra has something important, gonna put camera ahead by a little bit,
Potentially.
potentially. Who knows? Flagra might have our Spider Ball.
We're going to be heading up to Ice Temple.
Not a bad play, honestly. Caesar has the plasma beam. You know, to get one item safely.
Yes, we won't be isolating the item underneath the
And
statue.
you can also peek the other item.
Yes, yes. We don't have the wave beam, so we can't get it unless that item is wave beam, like it is in vanilla.
Yes. And
But we can't absolutely see it, and we can know if we have to come back.
It's even randomized.
There's our
That's
Fireball. Yeah, MightyCaesar definitely made the right play then.
Oh yeah. Now we know Flagra might not have something important, unless it's boost. Or maybe even X-ray. Hell, Flagra could even have our main PBs.
Caesar struggles a bit with the second bomb block and needs to blow it up a second time. You usually want to see our runners blow up that bomb block
I
and
didn't
then
really
get
a good...
out before it respawns, but you didn't manage it on the second one.
Alright.
It is a bit tricky. You
Yeah.
know, it takes some timing.
Question here. Did you see what was in Ice Temple?
It looked a bit like a nothing to me.
Alright, I couldn't really tell. That's what I was asking.
And with that spider, we do have all the items now to check Lighthouse.
Yes. And it might be something important considering Caesar is opting to pick it up.
Chat says it was a missile on Momoshika. Oh, it's
Ice
our ice beam.
on Lighthouse.
Now, finding Ice Beam before Wave Beam is actually really good news, because a lot of the Ice Beam checks are also locked by Wave Beam. For example, so finding Wave Beam last is actually pretty much the ideal scenario.
Yes.
Also, at this point, now that we have, Ice Ruins East item, that leaves Tower of Light and Main Court, which means a few things for us. We might not need Power Bombs. We almost certainly won't need the Boost Ball. We probably won't need X-Ray Visor. That's really, really good news for us. There's a lot of items that we can just completely ignore if we want to.
Right. And it was a mythical expansion on Plant. Plant was bait.
No, I'm definitely curious to see if Cameron will attempt early wild.
I don't really see many players opt to do that.
Yeah,
No,
not today. We have supers, so I can definitely understand that.
Yeah.
Spider Ball, usually you find. There's our wave beam, and
Let's
Ice
have our
Versus
wave
Blast.
beam.
That's all of our beams. Okay, that's basically go mode.
Yes, because they can easily go through Frigate to get to mines.
Absolutely, and even in logic too, because we have the thermal.
Yep.
Heck, we could even get Biohazard Containment if that turns out to be like our boost ball or something. I mean, you have the supers.
Yeah. That canyon was nothing of importance.
Hopefully Caesar kind of realizes that he has everything he needs.
Possibly.
Cameron, meanwhile, gets his second artifact in Lava Lake. Yeah, Boost and X-Ray are nice to have, so we might definitely be looking for them, but at the same time, every second that we spend looking for a visor or a ball upgrade is a second that we're not spending getting our artifacts, getting to, final bosses, and then winning the game.
Boost is very nice to have against Ridley. Because first phase Ridley is very weak to the boost.
Yes, yes. Boost is very much a binary sort of weakness. The boost ball deals like 100,000 damage per frame or something outrageous like that, but only to enemies that are specifically vulnerable to it. And most bosses are not vulnerable to it, understandably.
Yeah.
But somebody forgot to make Ridley invulnerable to the boost ball, so you can immediately destroy the first few phases, and then you skip straight to the last phase.
Yeah, which honestly, if I didn't know about that, if anybody didn't know about that in Prime at this point, we'd be seeing a lot longer fights against Ridley.
MightyCaesar opted to go for Tower of Light first.
Not a bad play, honestly.
Not at all, not at all. Cameron gets the plasma.
There's a Tower of Light chamber as well that you can easily grab.
Yeah, while we're here, we might as well.
Like Caesar's having some issues with the jump. Either way, Caesar does have plenty of missile capacity to do the intended
Yeah,
method
but
of
we're not
tower
going to
light.
see that. We're going to see him do the dashes.
Of
Caesar's
course.
definitely an experienced player, so he
Oh yeah.
understands how to get up Tower of Light. He's done it by now a few times already. Quite a few times, as it turns out. At least I would imagine from this performance. That was basically flawless. It
Yeah,
technically
flawless,
could
no
have been
hesitation.
faster, but by that same token, you know, that's not really a meaningful statement. That's like saying that, yeah, that T3 could have a better time. Like, yeah, that might technically be true, but that's not really meaningful. He's still got an amazing time.
Yes. Looks like Caesar's at a max of 70 missiles now. Not that it's really important to know that.
Well, it
Just
is
means
going to be helpful for Exo because we do have supers. That's going to make our power
it's gonna
move
be
phase a
helpful
lot
for
less
Exos
painful.
and Ridley Phase 2 at least.
Yes, yes. Having a few missiles for the later phases of Ridley is definitely very useful.
You're opting to grab this E-Tank over here. And the controls on these fire tracks are wonky at times.
Cameron making his first visit to Andrano's shoreline. MightyCaesar is most likely going for a bar skip play as opposed to going through frigate, which is definitely the smart move, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like it just takes a long time.
Yeah, and it's very, very light on checks, so it's not usually worth it for the detour.
No, there's maybe three. I think there's 3 checks in frigate.
Yes, there's cargo freight lift to deck gamma, there is biohazard containment, and then there is hydro access tunnel.
Yes.
We can get all 3 right now with our current items, but they're usually nothing.
It's fun. Everything about frigate is slow, honestly.
Our last artifact is in main port, for those wondering, which is why a bar skip is such a good play right now.
The bar skip being the way that it is can easily take a few tries.
Yes, it is a bit of a trick. A bit of a tricky one to pull off.
Yes, from what I could tell from watching many people attempt it, there's not much consistency with it.
No, that's not quite true. You can absolutely get bar skip down consistently. It's just very tricky, and there's a lot of nuance to it. So you'll see our experienced runners get it very, very quickly, but our less talented runners or less experienced runners are going to take a little bit of trial and error. Caesar definitely can probably pull that one off because he's a very good runner. We're just going to be doing this infinite bomb jump here to get into the morph track. Almost got that.
Not a bad play, honestly.
There we go. Second try's a charm. Lowers the shield for future.
Don't know why he would lower the shield, honestly. Because that
Who knows?
after he grabs the artifact and comes back, and he can save warp.
Nothing in Antechamber today. Cameron gets the wave beam, meanwhile.
Cameron hasn't gone to Ice Temple yet,
Not yet.
so he has yet to grab his Fireball. I don't think Cameron checked what was in Light Tower. Or Lighthouse.
You Tower of Light, you mean? Oh, Lighthouse. Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our last artifact is in main story. I mentioned that a minute ago. You're going to be seeing MightyCaesar check some of these quick items along the way in the hopes of that boost ball, like we mentioned, or an X-ray visor.
Preferably boost, honestly.
Yes, absolutely. Ridley is a slog.
Oh yeah.
This is bar skip that we were talking about earlier. It can take a lot of practice to get this down quickly. But MightyCaesar pulls it off without too much hassle. That is a pretty good bar skip, by the way, I should say. That can take several minutes if you don't have a lot of experience with what you're doing. As Caesar choosing to skip Life Grove and Life Grove Tunnel, just head straight to Mines.
Well, he doesn't have boost.
Oh, that's right! You're completely right. That just didn't occur to me.
Nor does he have PBs.
Yep, that's also true. So he would only be able to get one item, and that would be out of
No,
logic anyways.
He couldn't even be able to get it because he doesn't have power bombs. It's the rock that blocks the tunnel is.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was just thinking of the second power bomb that you blow up to destroy the walls in Life Grove itself. You're right.
It takes 2 power bombs to get through.
That just kind of skipped my brain.
Yep. Those pesky power bombs.
Yeah, we just don't have any. Caesar's definitely routing this better than I would have. We're going to shoot this power conduit here at the back of the crane, activate the controls with the scan visor, and then that's going to reveal our final artifact to us. We could use the spider track, but we're not going to. It's much easier to just jump across very easily. You don't even need to do a dash to get this. You can just do it with an L jump. There's also this slope jump that can take you up on top of the little crane. That's also a part of it.
Yep, and Caesar can... I just realized...
Probably gonna take the save station right here.
Yeah. And save warp.
Absolutely.
I just realized this might be a sub-hour scene.
Could be. It could be.
It depends on how cooperative EXO is. Caesar
Taking a
decides to
save
go for
here.
EXO skip. I'm not sure if Caesar knows EXO skip or not.
I don't think he does.
Well, Cameron found some power bombs.
Oh, there was some in Rune Courtyard this whole time. Who'd have thought?
Granted, it's out of the way.
Yeah,
Though I don't blame Cameron doing this. The equipment that he has is saying Thardus / Labs.
I'll be honest, I was expecting MightyCaesar when he was in Fen to go to Ruin Courtyard, get that item, and then hop up to the save station and save work from there, instead of the one in Shorelines.
Yeah, I could see that too. Granted, Caesar does do some risky plays sometimes.
That's hardly a risk, skipping Ruin Courtyard. I think that was Caesar actually taking the safe option.
It's not just skipping Courtyard. You have to think he's skipping all the checks in Labs, skipping Thardus, etc., etc.
Cameron, unfortunately, making the labs play, did not get the artifact in Shoreline. Or sorry, the ice beam in Shoreline. My bad.
No. Gaming check. Ice Temple. Yes, Fireball.
Yeah.
Now the thing about Meta Ridley and EXO, both bosses are complete RNG.
Do you mind elaborating on that?
It's RNG with how many times Meta Ridley will do the flyby, like we're seeing on Caesar's side. And EXO in the final chamber, completely RNG how many times it will change weaknesses.
I see. Yeah, Phase 1 was very, very early. That was all the way back in Roof Cave. It's been extremely early. Cameron almost got it, but it wasn't comfortable doing the visor list. Gravity was in the Frigate Craft Site, and Varia was in Upper Ruins Shrine, for those who are not remembering so well.
If we had Boost Ball, this would definitely be a sub-hour seed. We would have already had Ridley done and over with. Might have already been started on EXO.
Yeah. Without Boost Ball, Ridley does take a long time.
Yeah, it's just a long fight. It's an endurance test without boost.
Yeah, that is one. That is true, Sam. Saving missiles for EXO is definitely something that you can do. There's also a missile station in Impact Crater itself that you can go get if you really want to.
Halfway up the room.
Yeah, halfway up the central area.
Yeah.
I feel like runners don't visit that nearly as often as I imagine they would.
Ridley, or Caesar keeping Ridley locked down. And there goes Ridley at almost 53 minutes. And we're attempting observatory dash. Kind of a tricky thing to get down, honestly.
Oh, I just realized I was pressing the wrong mic button. Whoops. I was meaning to talk there, but yeah, I was going to say Observatory Dash is definitely one of the trickier dashes in the game, so it's understandable that Cameron is struggling with this. Yes. That's not to say that it's necessarily a super hard trick. Dashes are pretty easy. It's when you combine dashes with other tricks, so usually where that starts to get really difficult, like in Tower of Light, for example, where you're combining that with a lot of sort of standable.
Yes. Is an E-Tank in Observatory. Cameron nailing that R jump.
Very nice.
starting.
We're going to be starting our exo fight now. Cameron unfortunately hits the trigger in Control Tower.
Yeah, it looks like Cameron was trying to skip the trigger.
Yeah, for those who are unaware, right in front of the door out of that elevator room, there's essentially a cubicle trigger that starts the entire fight once you step into it. It's possible to avoid it just barely, but if you like inch out just barely, jump up and back, that can let you get around the trigger by then heading to the side or jumping over it. But Cameron just barely missed it. It's a really thin gap that you have to work with if you want to skip that fight, so it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's technically the only safe space is like right there against the door.
MightyCaesar getting a little turned around there.
Yeah.
Alright, that's one sun chamber now. Or one more sub chamber, I should say.
Oh, sorry, that was actually the second chamber. One more chamber, so disco.
Yeah, now we introduce the plasma phase in this sub chamber, and the next sub chamber will be where Metroid Prime can just completely go absolutely bananas. The first few sub chambers, Metroid Prime sort of has a pattern for switching. Like it has to stick with its phases for some amount of time. The next one, it just gets to switch as often as it likes. It can just essentially. There is a theoretical possibility. Statistically, it will never happen, but it is possible for Metroid Prime to just never stick to one phase long enough for you to damage it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's also just actually impossible due to the essentially fixed nature of RNG in video games, but that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah, it's theoretical at this point. I don't think we've seen it anywhere.
Yes, it's vanishingly unlikely to happen, but it is, you know. You'll definitely see Metroid Prime do a little bit of trolling. At least for a brief period.
Unless Metroid Prime decides to cooperate.
That's true, we might just get good RNG. Gets a super missile interrupted, that's no good.
Yeah, it's too close to the side and got hit by one of his claws.
Manages to get that super in. Also, you can see how quickly that can change phases. You know, we just briefly changed the wave for a split second, and then the plasma.
And there was the ice tower.
I think it is interesting to note we're going to be going into the Essence fight with no power bombs, so we don't really have a lot of methods for dealing with these Metroids.
True. However, Essence is close to being defeated. Essence will spawn what's called Vision Metroids.
Yes, and what they do is they actually split apart into smaller Metroids when you damage them.
And they will change their vulnerability just like Exo can. some of the most annoying Metroids in the series.
Normally we'll use power bombs to get rid of them because that just does the trick in one go. But we don't have any today, so that's going to be real difficult.
I do believe the visor, depending on how the essence is attackable.
And now, it's worth bearing in mind, we don't have X-ray visor, so once Metroid Prime Essence switches into the X-ray phase, we're not really going to be able to see her very well. And we'll be able to vaguely track her position by looking for the scan icon in scan visor mode, but that's not super useful, because, well, A, Essence moves around a lot, and so it's hard to keep track of where she is. And secondly, you can't attack in scan visor, so you have to switch out. Which means that you have to kind of hope that Essence hasn't moved by the time that you're ready to attack.
Looks like it'll be a 4-pool fight for Caesar. And there's the Fusion Metroids.
And we'll see that Caesar opts to shoot one of them with the phase on, which does instantly kill them. That's pretty much your one answer for that. Gets a little bit of damage in, not fantastic.
It would have been a 4-pool had it connected.
Yeah, we got a little bit of, we kind of grazed.
We got pulled around by the Fusion Metroid.
Yeah, we lost a lot of our cool time to that.
Yeah. Had we had power bombs, we would have been gone.
Yeah, power bombs definitely make this fight a lot easier.
There's a few things Prime players take for granted.
Alright, now we have the Metroid out of the way, so we just go ham, finish the game.
If we had boost and power bombs, it would have been a sub RC, that's for sure. Let's see if we can get MightyCaesar in here.
Yeah, Cameron is still in progress, but we might see him off to a DNF.
Cameron is
here.
Finally going to grab Fireball. Get his Ice Beam.
Hello,
Welcome,
Caesar.
Caesar. GG's on winning.
Yeah, congratulations. You did a really good job this seed. I definitely enjoyed watching you. Do you have any kind of post-match sort of self-critique? Anything that you think you could have done better?
My execution wasn't perfect. A couple more tries than they should have. I messed up a lot of easier stuff. Well, nailing hard stuff, which is unusual for me, but...
Like what?
Let's see. I messed up the... what do they call it? The beetle pit?
Ruin Shrine?
Triclops pit.
No, not Triclops pit. No,
Ruin
I messed
Shrine.
up jumping up onto the platform that I could then jump to the item there as well. Lots of little standable terrain failures.
Yeah, I did note that earlier, very early on into the run. Routing-wise, though, I think you did a pretty good job. Would you say that's about right?
Oh yeah, I couldn't have routed it much better. There were maybe like the biggest miss route was probably bothering to do Zoid.
Yeah, that's where like I think that was a reasonable decision when you made it. It just didn't pan out in this seed, which is how I tend to word that. You know, it was a good routing decision, but it was a bad decision for the seed. Now I am curious where our power bombs and our boost ball are going to be because we haven't seen them from Cameron either, or our X-ray visor for that.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it for us. I want to see it come up on your stream. Cameron is continuing to play right now. He might not have the race time open. I definitely have had that happen when I had a single monitor set up where I couldn't put it anywhere.
Yeah.
He also might just choose to be playing out the seed, which is definitely understandable. We have a 3-hour time slot, and this was a really quick seed, so I definitely do not mind watching him play it out.
Yeah.
There's the ice beam.
Had MightyCaesar had a boost and power bombs, like I said before, it would have been a sub-hour seed.
Yeah, it very well could have been. All right, let's see those item locations. They're coming up on the restream now. Okay, X-ray visor. Oh, we're getting teased a bit here. Security access A. Ooh, so one room after main quarry. Let's see. Boost ball was in ventilation shaft. We were not getting that. We were not going to get that.
No.
Power bomb was in gravity chamber.
Yeah,
oh,
not grabbing that.
Yeah. Out of those ones, actually no, none of them would have been realistic because security.
Oh yeah, because we didn't have power bombs.
Power bombs. Yeah. So, no, getting any of those would have been slow. Hey, 54 IGT.
Wavebuster and Sun Chamber. Oh, so that was on Ghosts. We saw Flogger and it was nothing.
Spreader was on Hydro Access.
You could have had it. You could have had it if only you didn't do bar skip. If only you had taken several minutes longer to complete the seed, you would have had the ice spreader.
Yep.
Yeah. If only I hadn't put in too many hours of practice into bar skip over the years.
Yeah, if only you were worse at running the game, then we could have the ice spreader. That's really the more important thing here.
Or if I were slightly better, we could have had a sub-hour seed.
I'm not sure. I don't think there were 3 whole minutes of mistakes that you could have easily ironed out. At least, you know, that's not my opinion. Maybe if you decided to skip Zoid, but I don't really consider that a mistake.
Minute and a half.
What was that?
Zoid, just by itself, is like a solid minute and a half.
That's true. That's a solid 90 seconds.
Let's see. After that,
And having boost for Ridley with cough a lot of
yeah,
time.
boost for Ridley. That's another minute. But that's not that's not.
And then power bombs to take care of the Metroid steering essence. Could have easily gotten that down to a 3-4 fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
You can
there
still-
was a
I've
power
done
bomb
it a couple
expansion
times.
in Ruined Courtyard, which Cameron picked up.
Ah.
So you were pretty close to power bombs. If you had, I mentioned this earlier, but one thing you could have done if you had gotten the ice item and shorelines on your way in, you could have instead taken the save warp out from the Courtyard save station and gotten the item in Ruined Courtyard on the way there.
Yeah.
Cameron opting to go through Frigate. Cameron also doesn't have the phase-on suit yet because he didn't want to do the root cave invisible platforms without the visor. He made an attempt at it, but he didn't do so well.
He actually attempted a couple times. Well, every single time.
I mean, yeah, if he didn't, he would have it.
Yeah.
One of the things that definitely, it's more than possible to get a repull with only one of the extra visors. Like I've done it a couple times before, but I haven't had a really good amount of practice for it, so that there's shaved off like another minute there. So see. So with Zoid and a
That would have been 3.5 minutes right there, and that would put you at a 59.
Yeah, that was definitely possible. It was within reach, I suppose. You know, once we take everything else
tried
into
out a
account.
couple of checks that didn't end up helping out, like me grabbing a couple of extra energy tanks that I didn't end up needing. Because I never got down to
Cameron having some trouble not locking onto the Aqua Reaper.
Yeah.
also me forgetting to change back to Power Beam after freezing the Metroids. That wasted a lot of cancer damage. I might have been able to get the reroll that way.
Maybe. Cameron taking a save.
What's kind of funny is I think without doing something like exo skip, I don't think that even with this as like a speed seed, it would get much below like maybe 45 RTA.
I think even that's being a little generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it would be like 50 RTA without some more advanced.
Maybe, yeah. I think that's sort of a number that sounds more reasonable.
And then
Cameron not quite remembering where all of the conduits are.
and maybe like a 47 with exo skill. Because that's like in, what, 90 seconds.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, 90 seconds from optimal, and that's assuming you get an optimal.
Yeah. It could save even longer if you get a bad exo fight. At the same time, though, it can be a bit tricky to get exo skip. You could spend a while trying to get the Metroid to knock you out of bounds. That could eat up a bit of time.
Yes.
So, like, the time save for tricks is usually calculated as it's like human optimal.
Yes.
Individual, unless you're talking about not just single person's performance.
Right. Anyway, Caesar, you're definitely free to stay and watch us, or stay and watch with us as Cameron finishes out the seed. But you're also free to go at this point. There's not that many more questions we can ask you.
Yeah, there's fun. Like I'm gonna stick around for at least a little bit longer.
All right, sounds good.
Definitely
Cameron needs to
overall,
get the conduit that's inside one of the biohazard containment things. Yep. There it is. Did they check the item? I don't think they did.
No, we grabbed it.
Oh, did they?
I think it was a missile expansion.
Yeah, it was obviously nothing because we didn't see it in the credits.
Yeah.
Hat will give them the ice spreader though, which is very important. Just having a bit of a fight with the Aqua Pirates.
The question that remains is how long is Cameron going to go before he realizes
He might just want to finish out the seed, it's not necessarily a mistake, There's nothing that says you can't do that, You see this a lot more in Echo's races, really.
Well, and also just any race where one of the players is a lot newer, which Cameron definitely is.
Yeah, sometimes it's just nice to finish out the race for the practice. And again, we've got a 3-hour time slot, and you know, the seed, MightyCaesar only finished it in an hour, so it's not like he's going to be intruding on anything. There's plenty of time that we have here to watch him play out the rest of the seed.
That is true.
That said, I do believe I've signed on to track in about 40 minutes, so I will be doing that come heck or high water.
Yeah, I might very well be commentating again. Depends if they need someone.
I think the commentator slots are all full for the rest of today. It was only tracking that was open.
That is true.
Heading straight into mines. Now Cameron at this point, I don't know that he's seen the phase on suit.
I don't think he has.
Now, I'm not sure if he caught a glimpse of it when he was trying to go get the root cave item.
To be
I think
fair,
right now he's just going to beeline artifacts.
whenever it is a suit in Root Cave, it is pretty difficult to see through the foliage.
Yeah, the foliage definitely blocks a lot if you don't have like a visor to peek through it.
Right. Typically X-ray.
Yes, yes.
I don't think they had thermal, or they checked either.
Just going to be quickly operating the crane to open up that item. We do have spider ball, so we can just do this the intended way.
Yes. I think the only artifact I guess left to grab would be Tower of Light, I believe.
Yes, it's the one of Tower of Light. I didn't realize the crane went transparent when you were going through that gap. I haven't actually done the crane normally since I filled out this part of the logic database way back when Metroid Prime Rando for Randovania was a new concept. I actually was the one who filled out a lot of like the early database, like the very basic stuff, like the vanilla methods for crossing rooms. That was a lot of that sort of grunt work was up to me, setting door colors as well, stuff like that. Now Cameron is probably going to be grabbing the boost ball then, since we're heading further into mines.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, it's right here, you know, we've got a power bomb.
True.
Sorry, the X-ray visor. I was getting my eyes fixed up. Boost ball was ventilation shaft. My bad.
Right.
Event shaft could happen too.
Yeah, that would surprise me.
Because he has no idea where the depends on someone to actually make it.
Yeah, Cameron might not have been aware, but the door is locked here until you fight these pirates.
Yeah.
Let's see, does he know about shooting through the side? Yes, he does.
Yep. Yep, he does. Now it's a power bomb expansion.
He might grab that, might not.
Maybe, maybe. We are in mines, so power bombs are quite useful here.
Yes.
It was wild when, like, a few years ago, finding out that you could just shoot through the area to the sides of the force field there, peek in there, was the first thing of common knowledge. It was much more annoying to check out.
Yeah, that definitely would improve the quality of life for runners quite a bit.
Yeah. So just imagining having to fight through all those pirates just to scan this terminal and then go back down. So much time
Only to
wasted.
find out that it's a missile expansion.
Yeah, just to find out that's something useless. Cameron is opting to pick it up from the looks of it.
Yeah, we've only got the one expansion at this point, so that's definitely a good idea in my mind.
Oh yeah. Never
Power
have
bombs are always
too many
not always, but almost always
TVs.
worth picking up.
Having a think.
Artifact is Karen missing at this point.
We're going to be heading back. He might be thinking about going to ore processing.
Possible.
Or he might save warp out.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he's going to do.
Might do root cave since he has X-ray now. Might not. Who
That's
knows?
possible. That's possible. Forgets to hold the L and R.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a glass of water. Alright, I am back.
No, Cameron's going opting for Tower of Light first.
Now this makes sense as a play because most likely what Cameron's going to do is check the artifact hint, see that it's in talent, probably go do root cave, arbor chamber, and then think about probably thinking at the back of his head, oh no, was it in like Life Grove or something?
Right.
But he's going to find it pretty early, so it's not going to cross his mind. Or that's not going to be like a huge problem for him.
Not quite nailing that R jump. It's definitely a tricky R jump with the ceiling so low.
All right, we got it. We got
Try.
it. That was not so bad.
No, it wasn't. Second try hasn't found that. Especially
There's
considering-
also some standable that can make it a bit easier. There's like a few routes that you can hop on in roughly the center of the room.
Yeah.
That's usually how I get across since I don't have a lot of practice with dashes. I don't know why. Like, I'm good at every other trick. I really just need to learn dashes at this point.
Doesn't look like Cameron knows the mechanic for quick firing missiles.
It looks like he kind of knows it. He's not firing at default speed, but he doesn't quite have the timing down.
Well, there's a way where you can just hold up on the C stick and just mash
No.
your Y button.
Oh, that's not how I usually do it. I don't touch the C
You
stick.
do the YA method.
Yes, I just do YA.
Which definitely is what Cameron appears to be doing as well.
Yeah, but even with the YA method, I can still get them a lot
Oh, yeah,
faster than
definitely
what we see from Cameron.
A lot faster than that.
I definitely do understand where Cameron is, because when I play Super Metroid, which is sort of got a similar mechanic when it comes to firing missiles, there's sort of a maximum speed you can fire them at, and if you try to fire them faster, it just kind of doesn't. So some
Right.
runners who are really good will
I'm not-
fire it at almost exactly that maximum speed, but I always end up going a bit slower just to avoid getting my commands eaten.
Input's eaten. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Prime
This
does
comes up
have
mostly
a-
with Fantoon.
Yeah, Prime has a mechanic where only 3 missiles can be out at a time. So
There is still a limited form of this sort of speed up tech, but they mostly patched it out. You'll usually see it come up for things like Jump Guardian.
Oh, in Echoes.
In Echoes. That's actually true for a lot of things from Prime. Like dashes, for example, got limited in Echoes, but not really removed, per se. A lot of slope jumps I don't think actually got touched.
no, I think slope jumps are still very much present in Echoes.
Yeah.
In fact, some people would
The only
argue that
difference
there's
with slope jumps is that because L jumps don't exist anymore in Echoes, there's technically a little bit less maximum velocity that you can get out the end of one,
Yes, yes.
but you can still get the amount of vertical height as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it also just doesn't really carry you as far in Echoes because that's just a bit more of a vertical game. There's a lot more height difference that you got to make up. Whereas in Prime, it's relatively flat. There's a lot you can do in SJ, even if you're only playing through intended strats, compared to Echoes, where you get space jump super early. Of course, that makes a lot of sense because Echoes, you start by default with a lot of the items that you have to actually go get in Prime. So, Morph Ball, you get that for free. Charge Beam, that's also free. Missiles, you get it. That's basically your first item. It's practically in the tutorial area.
Yes, Jeff Cameron's doing pretty good. He's just missing Phazon, but no, he doesn't have a hit yet.
Another PBX. Gonna check TCA and Training Chamber.
It wouldn't particularly surprise me if he might not know about the hint. Just
Yeah, that's not always been a thing. Just
Yeah,
walking into Training Chamber without checking. Maybe forgets about the fight trigger.
you can jump fairly far into the room, but
Also, not switching to X-ray yet. Alright, Cameron does remember the X-ray visor's power against chosen ghosts.
I forgot. When in the restream room, I can see the slightly faster restream off.
Yeah, feel free to just watch the stream directly.
Yeah, I only hope that they had to root caves or help. Give up. They'd probably get fairly frustrated if they were trying to figure out everything, only to realize that it was root cave all along. Oh, we're trying to start, so there's probably a decent chance that we're either gonna get it right now or move ahead.
Yeah, that would be quite nice. That would be quite nice. We might also just see Cameron head straight for the boss if he knows about the phase on suit hit.
One for the slow jump. There's a big one.
I've not seen that
That's
slow
not
jump
the-
before.
You have to start from a spot a little bit further to the left, where there's actually a slope.
Yeah, that probably would help.
Which probably just means that Cameron has just seen people jump up that way, but doesn't actually know.
Changes his mind.
Going for a refill.
That's definitely understandable.
One thing about the hint is that it only tells you the zone that the
Right.
phase on suit is in.
Yeah,
That's
so he'll
entirely
know
possible.
that it's in Talon Overworld, but he won't know where.
So it could be that they assume it's locked somewhere in a
Like Life Grove
oh yeah.
or Life Grove Tunnel. So, Karen might brought in the earlier checks like Root Cave and Arbor Chamber. I'm actually gonna be right back, guys.
I do apologize for the kind of passive commentary. There just isn't really that much to talk about.
Especially during this fight, it's just it's mostly waiting.
Yeah, meta really keeps you waiting a lot for these flybys.
Oh, I know one thing we haven't asked. Caesar, whenever you took that save, like real early into the sea, did Dolphin crash on you or something?
No, I was getting some micro stutters. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna restart Dolphin quickly. That fixes it. I did.
Ah, all right.
And it wasn't just stuttering. I had almost died for that far longer to open than it should have. But they restarted the Dolphin.
I don't know what's going on with Cameron's screen.
There's a setting that causes it. The way that it is cool. Really bad to keep up.
Oh, that was really down to the wire. That was close.
Barely tapped back.
Okay,
against
now he's
Rando there.
finally tapping out.
Understandable.
So we'll be getting him in the
Oh,
call
yeah.
very soon.
Okay, they know it's a little while. I didn't have the.
Yeah, I only just checked because I figured, that's the kind of thing where somebody would. That's about where I would normally have done it myself if I was playing.
Yeah.
That's definitely where I would have tapped out.
Especially
Yeah.
seeing how easy it would be to end up just getting stuck in that loop.
Yeah, that can
Not
absolutely
getting
happen.
the final bosses with that level of health.
Yes.
Wait around another couple minutes, see if Cameron wants to come in for an interview. Oh, they are in the setup room now.
Yeah, Cameron's in the Discord. Will be joined very shortly here. Hello, Cameron.
Hello.
I definitely was happy to see you racing today. What are your thoughts on that, Steve?
It was a lot of fun. This is my first time doing a tournament race, so I think I'm just happy that I was able to pull off enough tricks and like get
Yeah,
all the
that's
artifacts.
definitely. I wouldn't have been able to tell that this was your first time because you were doing a lot of tricks, honestly,
Thanks. I
for
did a lot of
somebody
prep.
who's pretty new.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm still very curious where the Phazon suit was in the end.
It was actually in Root Cave the whole time.
Oh
You
my God.
almost got it. I
That's
know.
so funny.
This is one of these hindsight things where you're like, I was so close.
It was right there. Yeah, I tried a couple times to get the invisible platform, but damn.
Yeah, that one can definitely be a bit tricky if you haven't got a lot of experience. I honestly, I know that this can be if you have like this, I want to get to the brackets mindset. I know that this can be a little bit, demoralizing, but honestly, I've seen a much larger comebacks made. People who know less about the game make more of a ascent in terms of skill. So I definitely encourage you to keep playing, keep practicing those tricks, keep practicing the routing, because there's a lot there that I see that I like. I
Thank
definitely
you.
want to. I'm really excited to see your performance in future matches.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, I have to
Yeah, and
agree
if
with
you
Beer.
ever want any help, like working on some of the useful, fairly easy tricks, then like feel free to like hit me up or any of the other experienced runners, and most of us would be.
Yeah, you can easily ping in the Prime Help channel. I'm sure plenty of more experienced players would be more than happy to help out.
Honestly, my advice is just to play the game.
Yeah.
I know that sounds a bit silly, like yeah, of course, but there's a lot of rooms in Metroid Prime, and all of them have little optimizations. And this isn't the kind of thing where you learn a big trick and then it's like this whole process.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, I
very
can
much
imagine
just
that
There are
something
being
you
definitely
very
difficult.
some.
slowly pick up as you go through them, learning where you can dash to get the most effective routing or whatever,
Yeah,
or
I
route through the
get the
room.
feeling
But
just
at the
the more
same
games
time,
I play, the more little things I'll pick up.
yeah, there are definitely some individual tricks that are
Yeah, stuff like bar
getting
skip,
good
for
at, like
example,
root
is
cave
root
or
cave.
or bar skip are things that are worth
Or, like,
just grinding
one thing I
just
do want to note about your Ridley strategy is in that final phase, I noticed you were trying to use Plasma Beam to attack Ridley. Now, that's generally what you want to do for the early phase of the fight, but in future there, you're really going to have a better result if you switch over to Power Beam and use Rapid Fire Missiles on
Oh,
Ridley.
okay. That's good to know.
I
That's
also
how I've done
noticed
it in
that
like
you kind
casual
of
playthroughs in the past, but I
yeah.
definitely
That's
do not know
definitely
the optimal
understandable.
strat.
But the missiles are they can do much faster damage if you rapid fire them.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Gotcha.
you do know how to do rapid fire missiles, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
noticed you were a little bit slow. You can absolutely go a little bit faster than that if you're faster on your tapping. It's a rhythm that it does take some time to get down, but you'll get it pretty quickly. It's from using the missiles
yeah,
ordinarily.
another way to do it is if you hold up on the C stick and just press your missile button.
hmm
You
That's
fire
Yeah,
usually
those
that's
the
an
best way
pretty
to.
alternative
good.
I
method.
find I have to like contort my hand a little bit in a weird way to to get it to
Yeah, I
work.
don't like touching the C stick either. It's always a bit out of the way.
But
But
all right,
even if
cool.
you do it, I do it the same way that you do with YA.
Mhm.
Even then, you can still get a much faster rhythm once you get used to that.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to practice that timing.
Yeah, and
When you
again, you'll pick
mentioned,
this up pretty quickly just because once you get it fast, it becomes so convenient just to use it on like arrow troopers and random pirates, turrets. You
Mhm.
use it all over the place. It's so helpful.
Cool. Yeah, especially because missile expansions are very easy to come by in these randomizers.
Absolutely.
You mentioned bar skip earlier. Is that the one in
Yes, when
Talon
you go
Overworld?
in from Lake Talon from Chozo, you
Mhm.
have those bars, but you can actually do a bomb jump over them to get to the other
Gotcha.
side.
I
That
see.
allows you to skip going through frigate.
Okay, that's good to know.
You actually MightyCaesar does that in this front. I don't recommend learning bar skip right away because it's a very difficult trick, and even if you practice, it can take several minutes to get in a run. But I do want to put that in your head so that you know that's there.
Okay.
Because sometimes other runners absolutely will go for it. It's not like out of the question. Even runners who are fairly new will attempt it, and sometimes that can pay off big.
Interestingly, yeah, it didn't seem there were so many areas in this run that didn't seem necessary at all to visit. Like the entire back half of
most
Chozo.
of mine's just got cut out.
Right, once I found the X-ray visor at the start, I was like, oh damn, okay, I guess I can just leave.
You don't actually need the
Also
X-ray
posted,
visor. Funny enough, you don't actually need any of the visors for Essence. It just takes a bit longer.
Yeah, that's fair. I've never done Essence without all the visors, but
the big trick for doing it without a visor is when you're missing a visor, when it switches to that visor's face, you can actually use the scan visor to sort of figure out where it is in the room, because its scan icon, it still shows up when it's invisible.
oh, that's fun.
That it's a bit tricky, but honestly, you can actually still get quite a bit done. And failing that, you could just wait it out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyways, I do have to switch
Definitely.
over to the upcoming stream since I'm tracking for one that
Yes,
starts in less than 10 minutes.
Yes, that next match will be held over on SpeedGaming 3, guys. If we are all done here, thank you once again, runners, as well as Op, and as well as you here for tracking.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to track today, but I wanted to hop into comp, so that Link here wouldn't be all alone. Also, I didn't know that he was signing up until he just hopped in. So I assumed that I would be the only one here. So
I technically didn't sign up. In fact, as soon as because I was tuned into the stream, and as soon as I heard
did you get like a
that
link
you were
from
by
Op?
yourself, filling in for Veep until they showed up, I was like, I could hop in, help out,
Yeah,
So
I appreciate that.
messaged
I
him-
really do. That's very nice.
Messaged in the server saying, hey, I could always come. And I was sent the invite, so I was like, yep, there we go.
Anyways, besides the race that starts on SG3 in like 5 minutes,
Yes.
that's between Baja Blood and Tuba Man. That's the rematch, or the reschedule, I should say.
Right.
Because Tuba Man unfortunately missed the original race. Besides that, there's also another race 3 hours from now between Roboscout
Being
and
held on.
Atraxis.
Yep, being held on SpeedGaming 3 as well.
Yes. There's going to be another race on Monday. We don't know which Speed Gaming that's going to be on, but it's going to be at 3 p.m. EDT between Uncle Reggie and Sasquatch. Both pretty good players. Both pretty good players.
2 hours after that against Jeff and Inner Slice.
No. That's the next day. That's on Tuesday.
Oh, right. Tuesday. Sorry.
Anyways, though, I do hope to see you for those upcoming races. That'll definitely be really nice if you get to watch those. I've got to go now, though, so I'm going to leave it to you to close this out. I'll see you later.
All right. See you here. Good luck on your tracking for next match.
Thank you.
As I'd like
Make
to...
sure to follow.
Yes,
runner
feel free to follow...
tracking teams.
Yes. Any final words, Caesar and Cameron?
This was a lot of fun.
Final words. That is a good race. Cameron, I highly recommend, especially when you're starting out with these races. Watch them back. You can pick out the mistakes that you made a lot better, and you can also see what different decisions might have allowed the other player to get ahead of you.
Definitely will do.
And I'd like to extend an olive branch to you, Cameron, since I am also very new to the tournament racing field. If you ever want to do a one-on-one race, feel free to ping me in the server.
Absolutely.
If I'm available, I will be more than willing to race you.
Thanks so much, guys.
You're welcome. And chat, we'll see you next mission.
Bye, everyone.